Jyotika Bormon, student of Mathema College, Chemistry Honours first semester. Today I am going to discuss the topic free radical. What is free radicals? Definition of free radicals. Homolytic cleavage of covalent bonds leads to the formation of neutral species, possessing an unpaired electron. These are known as free radicals. Free radicals containing odd electrons on carbon atoms are collectively called carbon radicals or simply free radicals. For example, methyl radical CH3, phenyl radical PH, etc. We take a XY species. If it undergo into homolytic cleavage, then produce X and Y free radical. Now I am going to discuss about classification of free radicals. They are classified as primary, secondary and tertiary free radicals according to the number of carbon atoms 1, 2 or 3 directly attached to the carbon atom bearing the unpaired electron. For example, ethyl radical CH3CH2 is a primary, isopropyl radical CH3 CH is a secondary and tert butyl radical CH3 C is a tertiary radical. Now I am going to discuss about some important methods for generation of free radicals. Free radicals may be generated by the following three principal methods. Number 1 method is thermolysis. Thermal decomposition of compounds containing weak bonds often gives free radicals. For example, tetramethyl lead decomposes to form lead and methyl radical on heating. CH3 Pb. If we give heat 600 degrees centigrade, then produced lead and 4-methyl radical. The O bond of a peroxide or a paracid, for example, has a strength of only 36 kilocalorie per mole, and so it undergoes cleavage even at room temperature. For example, in species PHCO4CPH dibenzoyl peroxide, the O bond undergo into cleavage and produce 2PHCO2. Then PHC bonds undergo into cleavage and produce 2 phenyl radical and 2 CO2. Sometimes the formation of radicals is facilitated by the simultaneous release of very stable molecules such as N2. For example, in species CH3N2CH3 azomethane, CH3 N bonds undergo the cleavage at 300 degrees centigrade and in gas phase and produced 2-methyl radical and N2. Number 2 method is photolysis. Absorption of visible or ultraviolet light provides a molecule with sufficient energy to break covalent bonds and thus photochemical dissociation to form radicals may occur. Acetone, for example, is decomposed in the vapor phase by light having a wavelength of 320 nanometer. In CH3COCH3, if we give ultraviolet light and in vapor phase, then CH3C bond decomposes and produce methyl radical and COCH3. Then CCH2 bond decomposes and produce CO and 2-methyl radical. Azolcanes or diacyl peroxides also undergo cleavage on photolysis. In Rn to R, if we give ultraviolet light, then Rn bonds decomposes and produce 2R radical and N2. Then in RCO4Cr, if we give ultraviolet light, then O bond decomposes and produce 2rCO2. Then RC bond decomposes and oxygen gives lone pair to carbon and produced 2R radical and 2CO2. Then number 3 method is redox reactions. One electron transfer reactions are very often employed to produce radicals. One such reaction that has considerable synthetic importance is the Kolbe electrolysis of the salts of carboxylic acids. Now I am going to discuss about the shape of an alkyl radical. The actual shape of an alkyl radical is very difficult to predict. There are two possibilities. They may have a planar triangular configuration or a rapidly inverting pyramidal configuration. This is the planar triangular configuration and this is the rapidly inverting pyramidal configuration. The available evidence indicates that though simple alkyl free radicals prefer a planar or near-planar shape, the energy difference between a planar and a pyramidal free radicals is not large. Free radicals in which the carbon is connected to atoms of high electronegativity, e.g. CF3 radical, prefer a pyramidal shape. The deviation from planarity increases with increases in electronegativity Again, when the unpaired electron is situated on the carbon at a bridgehead of a bicyclic system, an sp2 configuration is completely prevented by the geometric requirements and a pyramidal configuration becomes mandatory. For example, the bridged radicals 1 and 2. Now I am going to discuss about the factors responsible for the stabilization of free radicals. Free radicals become stabilized by hyperconjugation involving alpha hydrogen atoms. Thus there occurs hyperconjugation involving alpha hydrogen atoms. As the number of alpha hydrogen atoms increases, hyperconjugation becomes more effective and consequently the radical becomes more stabilized. The relative stability of simple alkyl radical is found to follow the sequence. Tertiary R3C radical is more stable. Secondary R2CH radical is more stable than primary RCH2 radical, which in turn more stable than methyl CH3 radical, which is least stable. For example, tart butyl radical, Me3C radical is more stable than isopropyl radical, Me2CH radical, which in turn is more stable then ethyl radical MECH2 radical. The methyl radical CH2 radical is least stable because the unpaired electron is not at all delocalized. Resonance is a major factor influencing the stability of free radicals. When the carbon bearing the odd electrons is alpha to a double bond, effective delocalization of the unpaired electron with the pi orbital system with consequent stabilization occurs. Allyl and benzyl radicals, for example, are found to be particularly stable because of resonance. Thus, there occurs resonance in allyl radical. Thus, there occurs resonance in benzyl radical. Another factor that is responsible for the increased stability of tertiary radicals is steric. There occurs considerable relief of steric strain when a sp2 hybridized tertiary radical is formed from an sp3 hybridized precursor. And this is because repulsion between the bulky alkyl groups is relieved to a certain extent by an increases in bond angles from 109.5 degree to about 120 degree. Thus, the radical is much reluctant to react further, i.e. its stability is enhanced due to steric reason. Now I am going to discuss about the detection of free radicals. There are a number of methods available for the detection of free radicals. A very simple method to know whether a particular reaction proceeds through a radical intermediate or not is to study the kinetics of the reaction with and without an inhibitor such as hydroquinone. If the reaction proceeds through radical intermediate, its rate should be seriously affected by the presence of the inhibitor. Electron spin resonance spectroscopic studies offer the most useful method for detecting radicals. Now I am going to discuss about radical inhibitors and their function. Some substances slow down radical reaction by combining with radicals involved in the reaction. They prevent them from reacting on or divert them into other reaction paths. Such substances are called radical inhibitors, for example, hydroquinone, phenol, etc. A radical inhibitor may function by trapping a free radical to give a neutral molecule, or it may function by forming a more stable radical which is unable to continue a radical chain. Nitric oxide is an example of the first type and phenol is an example of the second type. There, R radical reacts with radical inhibitor nitric oxide and produced a neutral molecule RNO, a nitroso compound. And then in there, R radical reacts with radical inhibitor phenol and produced RH and more stable C6H4O radical. Oxygen can also function as a highly efficient radical inhibitor. This is because the molecule of oxygen has two unpaired electrons and behaves as a diradical, O2 radical. It can combine with the highly reactive radical intermediate, converting them into very much less reactive peroxy radicals, RO2, which are unable to carry out the chain reaction. Now I compare the stability of these free radicals. The stability of a free radical depends on the extent of delocalization of the unpaired electron. The unpaired electron in methyl radical has no scope of delocalization and so it is the least stable among the 4 carbon radicals. The unpaired electron in isopropyl radical containing 6 hyperconjugable alpha hydrogen atom is well delocalized by hyperconjugation. Hence it is more stable than methyl radical CH3. Thus, there occurs hyperconjugation in isopropyl radical. The unpaired electron on carbon in allyl radical is delocalized by resonance interaction with the pi orbital system, and delocalization is more effective in this case. So allyl radical is more stable than isopropyl radical. Thus there occurs resonance in allyl radical. In diphenyl methyl radical, the two phenyl groups are involved in the delocalization of the unpaired electron, and so delocalization is much more effective in this case. For this it is more stable than the allyl radical. Thus, there occurs resonance in diphenyl methyl radical. The stabilities of these radicals therefore increases in the following order: pH2CH radical more stable, then allyl radical which is more stable, and isopropyl radical which in turn more stable than methyl radical. Now I discuss why the radical anion of benzophenone is more stable than that of cyclohexanone. In the radical anion of benzophenone, PHCOPH, the unpaired electron is highly delocalized over the pi orbital system of two benzene rings as well as over the C double bonded O system. On the other hand, in the radical anion of cyclohexanone, the unpaired electron is only slightly stabilized by resonance. So the radical anion of benzophenone is more stable than the radical anion of cyclohexanone. Thus, there occurs delocalization of the unpaired electron in benzophenone. So, benzophenone is more stable than cyclohexanone. Now I compare the stability of these free radicals. The radical 4 is stabilized by Plaza effect of 3 ring bonds. However, it is not stabilized by hyperconjugation because formation of a double bond at the bridged position is not possible as Braid's rule. Again, the radical suffers from angle strain because the angle between bonds is somewhat less than the sp2 bond angle, i.e. 120 degree. So this radical is the least stable among the 4 carbon radical. The unpaired electron in Me3C radical containing 9 hyperconjugation alpha hydrogen atom is well delocalized by hyperconjugation. Hence it is more stable than radical 4. The unpaired electron on carbon in allyl radical is delocalized by resonance interaction with the pi orbital system, and delocalization is more effective in this case. So allyl radical is more stable than Me3C radical. Thus, there occurs resonance in allyl radical. In PH3C radical, the 3 phenyl groups are involved in delocalization of the unpaired electron, and so delocalization is much more effective in this case. For this, it is more stable than the allyl radical. Thus, there occurs resonance in PH3C radical. The stabilities of these radicals therefore increases in the following order: PHCC radical is more stable, CH2 radical is more stable than Me3C radical, which is turn more stable than number 4 radical.